He called me, Eddie, steering tight. This pagal. This pagal. He said. He called me, Eddie, steering tight.
This is an instance of why the steering hard to steer after replacing a power steering pressure line. A short explanation of how it was happened. After replacing the power steering pressure line, it was hard to steer. Why it was happened? Because of wrong procedures and didn't lead the system properly. If you look at the inner reservoir, the fluid circulation is very poor and the bubbles still remain in the system. So I gave an instruction how to build the system.
Start. Start. Check. No acceleration. Close. No acceleration.
When bleeding the power steering system, let the car free of the ground, the front wheel side, and then switch off the engine and steer the steering wheel. Steer to the left and right. Let the bubbles free of the reservoir until the bubbles disappear. If the bubbles still remain, do not start up the engine because it will create a problem for the power steering pump, and then it creates also power steering pump noise. So never do that. If the bubbles still remain in the reservoir, just continue steer to the left and right so the bubbles will come up until the bubbles free of the reservoir. If you won't do the proper bleeding of the power steering, you might get and you may experience hard to steer,
Straight.
or else you might ruin the power steering pump. As you can see here, that's why I'm doing that procedure. Be patient
Start.
when bleeding the system because sometimes it takes time to get rid of these bubbles. As long as the bubbles is present, never start the engine. Just steer to the left, steer to the right, and the bubbles will come up.
Switch off.
Until the bubbles will disappear. Okay? If the bubbles is still present in the system, you can feel the steering a little bit harder to steer to the left and to the right when you started up the engine. Because when they started up the engine and they called me, the steering was hard to steer.
Start.
So I instructed this guy before started up the engine.
Left, right.
You must bleed the system first. Bleeding the system is important to prevent the power steering pump damage.
Switch off.
After this bleeding procedure, you will see the aftermath.
Start. Okay. Steering.
Right?
How's the steering? Good?
Free. Good.
Free now?
Oh, free.
Free. Okay. Not like before?
Okay.
Next time,
Okay.
listen to me. After you can, what you call this? You can get good job after. If there is no oil, do not start the engine. put oil, lift, turn left, right. Bubbles come out. Okay.
Okay.
Now see? Three. There is bubbles. This is the differences if they didn't bleed properly. Because what they did is they remove and replace the high pressure pipe because of leaking. Then if there is a problem, they will call me and they will ask why the steering is tight. So I have the right to shout at them because they are doing wrong. I said next time call me. So I don't like to waste the time only for this, you know. No? Very easy. Unlike before, it was hard to steer. See the circulation of the ATF, the power steering fluid. Before that doesn't have any circulation because of the bubbles. If there is no circulation, that is a symptoms of weak power steering pump. So I try to bleed properly because there is more air in the system. That's why sometimes, you know, my anger to these people, they have a big headed, you know what I mean. So now as you can see when I'm steering, this looks pretty cool. Okay.